now let me invite the second special guest for the day, Professor Rajiv Kumar ji. Professor Rajiv sir has actually been in this summit just after the launch of the India Admission Hunt when Naveen Mittal ji was there. The third event was Rajiv Kumar sir addressing the engineering sessions which we had done. If many of them have witnessed him coming. So to introduce, he is the member secretary of All India Council of Technical Education, the apex body of MHRD in technical and higher education. He holds the ME in computer technology and applications from Delhi College of Engineering, Delhi. He also has the PhD from IIT Delhi. In 1990, he joined DCR University of Science and Technology, Haryana. His areas of research interest are mathematical computing, software engineering, and image processing. Professor Kumar is also author of numerous research papers in national and international journals and presented papers in India and abroad. So you have also visited several universities abroad like USA, Canada, China, and Malaysia. So, and your leadership in your regime has brought a lot of difference in the technical and higher education industry and the field of higher education in India, sir. So we welcome you, Rajiv, sir, with your keynote address.
Thank you, Chandan. Respected Naveen Mittal ji, Sandeep ji, Rahul ji. First of all, I congratulate Naveen Mittal ji for setting the tone. He explained all the relevant issues today, which are relevant in today's time, very beautifully, sir. You are really, I can understand that Telangana under your able leadership will take technical education to the next stage in time to come. Now, you have touched almost all the issues, whether it is new education policy, whether it is teachers' education, whether it is new technologies, and more about the future technologies. You also discussed about that. So now the task for me is not very difficult. I will just give a brief outline and just elaborate what Mr. Mittal already discussed in his address. Now, because today's topic for this discussion, which was shared to me, is basically on the new education policy and its implementation. So first, I will come to the other points also, but I will start with new education policy. As this policy was announced in the month of July, and a lot of debate and discussion has already gone through, and now we are in the process of implementation. Now people are discussing a lot about how government will implement this policy. This is a talk of the, particularly in the academia, it is a talk. Now, if you look at this policy in detail, then implementation of this policy is not very difficult. There are already bodies and organizations. We have the structure. Only thing is that we have to make some restructuring of the things in the present system also. Now, if you look at the new education policy, there is the highest body is the Higher Education Commission of India, right? Under that Higher Education Commission of India, there are 4 verticals. One is National Higher Education Council, another is National Accreditation Council, third one is Higher Education Grants Commission, and 4th one is General Education Council. Right? So these are the 4 bodies in which all these education system will be converted. Right? If I take the National Higher Education Council first, then the main and foremost job of this body will be to regulate the education in the country, particularly the higher education. Right? Now, presently, there are the multiple regulators, those who are regulating the higher education in India. Now, all these higher education regulators, they will come under the single body, whether it is AICTE, whether UGC, who is regulating universities, whether it is Pharmacy Council of India or Council of Architecture regulating pharmacy and architecture, and many more disciplines also, right? So all these such bodies, they will form a single core body, and they will have a transparent, flexible regulations to regulate the education system in India. And the second body is the National Accreditation Council. Now we have two accrediting agencies at present. One is the NAC, which is accrediting the universities and institutions, and another one is NBA, National Board of Accreditation, which is accrediting technical courses. They are only accrediting courses, while NAC is accrediting institutions and universities. Now these two bodies will combine and we will get a National Accreditation Council, and government already started the process and invited applications from the various institutions. They can also enter in the arena of accreditation if they satisfy certain parameter. That regulation was already announced by the council, UGC, and many bodies, they are coming in the, I remember IIT Delhi also formed a Section 8 companies. They have also already applied and they want to become an accrediting body also. So like that, many more accrediting agency will come and they will be under the National Accreditation Council. And the third body is Higher Education Grant Commission. This is what UGC is presently doing. They are giving so many grants to the student, to the institutions for various schemes. AICT is also giving grants to various schemes. All they will go to the one point, and that body will be Higher Education Grant Council. So, and the final one is the General Education Council. Now, General Education Council, if you see the policy, they will frame the standards, they will frame the outcomes, expectations from a course, from a discipline. So all this will be the responsibility of the General Education Council. Now there are so many bodies. AICT is also coming out with the curriculum with outcome. Now Council of Architecture is coming out, and there are so many professional bodies. They are also doing the parallel type of work. So I hope all these things, they will combine and the responsibility will go to the General Education Council. Now the government has already started this process. We have been given some responsibility. We are also working on that. So this is, as far as implementation is concerned, to me, I feel there is even not a financial, not much financial liability on the government also. So infrastructure and the mechanism is in place. Only thing is we have to restructure them. Now, if you come again, you come to the national education policy. We all know more emphasis has been given on multidisciplinary courses, and multiple entry and exit points are there, credit banks are there. Now, single regulator will be there. They are talking about the teachers' education. They are talking about the examination reforms, and they are talking about the new technologies also. Now, these all things, if you look, because I am in AICT from the last four and a half years, we have already started working on these parameters 3.5 years back. And if we see over the quality agenda, which we came out in 2017, this national education policy looks as the replication of the quality agenda in different words. So we have already started all such things except the credit bank. Although we always talked about the flexibility in the curriculum, we came out with the model curriculum. We requested universities to give freedom to the students that they can earn credit at some other university and you accept these credits. So credit transfer we were requesting. So all such points which I was mentioning here, we already started in 2017. Now, as far as policy is concerned, there are a lot of flexibility. Now, student, as Mr. Mittal was talking about, he can make his own degree from taking different types of credit, and he can customize his degree. All this freedom is there in this new education policy. And if you see the global standards as far as degrees and education is concerned, so it is at par with the global standards. But the special point is that it has got Indian heart. So another important thing, if you see in this policy, is that they have talked about the Indian traditional knowledge system. So they are talking about what India was doing in the ancient time. We were having best universities in the world, Nalanda, Takshila. We have the examples there. But how to bring all this culture which we were having in the past, we can bring forward all such things to our students, present days generation. So this is the main motive of this Indian traditional knowledge system as far as this policy is concerned. And we at AICTE, we have created a cell here, which is called as Indian Traditional Knowledge System Cell, IKS, Indian Knowledge System Cell. And presently we are in the process of appointing the experts, those who will be responsible to create a literature or create the documents as far as Indian traditional knowledge system is concerned. So we are already in the process, and through this program, I invite all those who are having interest in Indian traditional knowledge system, please contact us. Please share your views and ideas to our experts, which are going to start work very soon. And if you can contribute in that Indian knowledge system initiative of MHRD and AICTE, then it will be a great helper to the country. Now, Mittalji was also talking about the innovation and startup. Yes, once I was in a conference of the Vice Chancellor, which was attended by one of the ex-director of IIT Delhi. And he was saying that the curriculum of IITs and curriculum of all rest of the engineering colleges, they are same. Then why the students, why the companies they are taking, they are preferring the students of IIT and not from the other B or C category institutions. And the main thing he explained that apart from the curriculum, the important thing what the IIT students they are having, that they have critical thinking and out of box thinking capabilities. So we should also give this space to our students, those who are studying in our engineering colleges. We should give, and for that teachers plays an important role. Now, as Mittal sir was also telling, every point of knowledge is available in his hand. By click of buttons only, he can get each and every lecture on the mobile. Then the role of the teacher is also changing. How they will be able to manage the class, but he is teaching in the class is already available in some lecture which is available on the website. Then how teacher will manage the class of 60 minutes or 45 minutes? That is a very challenging task for a teacher. For that, teacher has to teach during these 45 minutes or 60 minutes the things which are not in the curriculum, something which is outside the curriculum, and then and only then they will be able to create the interest of the students in the teaching. For that, because our teachers, those who are teaching from the last 25 years or 20 years or 15 years, they are not aware about these technologies, new technologies we are talking about, whether it is AI, whether it is IoT, blockchain, so many things, so many technology. We have identified all these technologies, and we have started training our faculty members. During this COVID period, we organized around 100 faculty development programs in these new areas. And these programs were conducted in association with the industry. Not even a single program was conducted where industry participation was not there. And we requested the industry friends to bring an expert in the program which is applying this new technology in your industry, so that he can also correctly present the industry perspective in the technology, emerging technologies. That was the main idea. And up to December, we are now conducting 500 more programs in these thrust areas where industry is participating. So main thing is that we are able to connect industry with the academia through these programs. Also, because most of the programs, they are being conducted by IITs or NITs or good institutions. So we are also able to connect our top class institutions to rest of the institutions in the country. So we are able to make a bridge between the industry and the academia and the top institutes to the next level of institutes. So that was the great thing we could achieve. And this COVID, as Mittalji was also pointed out, gave us an opportunity, because previously we planned all these programs in offline mode, and conducting 500 programs in offline mode is not very simple thing, because we came out with this technology, we found that it is very effective, then immediately we planned 500 programs, and it is very, very cost effective. Previously, we were spending around 2.5 lakhs for a single program. Now we are spending only for a 5 days program. Now we are spending only 93,000 for a 5 days program. So we are able to cut costs substantially, and we can involve many faculty members, many even industry people, they are attending these programs now. And now we are getting requests not from the faculty members or the persons in the industry from India, but we are now also getting requests from the persons from abroad. Many more people from the abroad, they are also writing us, please also allow, we also want to attend these programs, please allow us, because these programs are free of cost. We are allowing each and everyone, whether it is students, some students are also asking, PG students, research students, they are also asking, please allow us. So we are allowing each and everyone for these programs. So now with these initiatives, I hope ASMA is also, from the last 21st June, I think you started this program, and you are continuing with organizing such programs, motivating faculty members, bringing out new issues, challenges, their views. You are collecting their views of the institutions. It's a great help. And now with this deliberation and discussion, definitely something good will emerge, and we hope that we all will be able to implement it. With all these words, I hope that this new education policy will bring a great reforms in our education system, and our students, what we were struggling from the last 34 or 35 years, definitely our students will get a boost as far as new technologies, new ways of pedagogies, that definitely they will be used in the new technological system. With all these words, I thank you. I thank ASMA for giving me an opportunity for sharing my ideas. Thank you very much.